I did it before. We had a great 4 years, especially before that very last part where COVID came in, and we did a great job there. We've been given great marks on the economy and on the military and on foreign affairs, but never got the credit we should have gotten in that. We did something amazing, and the stock market was higher in the end. But just before the China, I call it the China virus because I like to be accurate, came onto our shores, we had the greatest economy in the history of the world, even going up to the end. But this period of time, and it was success. Successful is the word I'm using to answer your question. We had such success in history. Some of your favorite pollsters like McLaughlin and Fabrizio, I met them the day before I heard the word COVID or pandemic, the day before. And we were talking about the next election coming up. They said, sir, if Abraham Lincoln and George Washington came back from the dead, they couldn't beat you. We had the greatest economy ever. And the people, let's call them on the left and far left, were calling me, we want to get together. I've never seen anything like it. I said, do you believe this? Everybody was happy. African American, Asian American, Hispanic American.
We're going to get into that because of your polls are on that.
When you look at the poll numbers today with African American, Hispanic American, we're doing better than any.
But the question about score settling, a lot of women, a lot of women voters, they don't like the name calling, they don't like the score settling. They love your policies, and they just want Trump's policies, maybe not so much of the other stuff. So I think that's what the question, if you don't mind my asking, I think that's what she's getting at.
But also you want to say, how do you get together? We're going to get together through success. When the country was at a level that we had the best employment numbers in history, everything was good. And this country was coming together. Then we got hit with COVID, but this country came together. I don't care about the revenge thing. I know they usually use the word revenge. Will there be revenge? My revenge will be success.
Ladies, I have to ask you, it's for the ladies that are watching. Do you guys want to see Trump get his revenge? Let us all know in the comment section. Let us all know, because that was just put, into, well, I shouldn't say jest, but because that's an old clip. But Laura Ingraham, said that, a lot of women don't want to see him, get revenge, but they like his policies. Let me know in the comment section. Let me know. Now, you guys could probably guess where this one is going. We got to talk about the topic of revenge, because Andrew McCabe recently went on CNN. He's a former FBI director, I believe. And he recently went on CNN and said something very, very interesting. It's really, really telling when these types of stories start to come out. Now, we've heard rumors of other stuff like it, but to hear it, it honestly kind of puts a smile on my face. I'm not going to even lie to you, okay? But like, share, comment, and hit that subscribe button if you are new. And take a listen to what Andrew McCabe had to say that I think is so interesting. Now let's dive in.
It's great to have you here, because few people know the inner workings of the FBI better than you do. And you've also personally experienced the pressure from Donald Trump. And when you see him promising this wholesale takeover of the Justice Department, I wonder how you worry about what that would look like.
Yeah, Caitlin, I worry a lot about it. And I think it's, when you think about these things and you try to predict how Donald Trump is going to react or the steps he's going to take, you really don't have to go any further than listening to the things he says and does. His comments recently are offensive and horrendous, but they're not surprising in any way. He's been saying this for quite some time. I will be your retribution is his refrain to his supporters. So, you know him, you know what motivates him. He is not a person who's driven by principle or ideology. He is someone who's entirely transactional. And if he feels like he's been wronged in some way, then he focuses on revenge and vengeance. And so he's made it perfectly clear that that's what he's going to do. And in the process of seeking that, he is going to he runs the risk of really dismantling and greatly incapacitating the Department of Justice and the FBI. And that is something that Americans on both sides of the political aisle should be worried about.
Yeah.
We depend on those institutions to protect us.
Well, what do you think it's,
and he is
what do
proposing to
people
tear them
inside,
down.
what do people inside the FBI think when they hear a comment like that?
You know, it's terrifying. It's frightening. I have a lot of conversations with former colleagues, people who are or were in the intelligence and law enforcement community and may have worked in, the Obama administration, other places. And, people are really trying to assess, like, what is life going to be like if Donald Trump wins a second term? And on a very personal level, I mean, these are torturous discussions with their family members about whether or not they have to leave the country to avoid being unconstitutionally and illegally detained. I mean, people are actually worried about being thrown in jail or grabbed in some sort of extrajudicial detention. And I think, as crazy as this sounds in the United States of America, I think people should really consider that these are possibilities. Listen to what the man says. He typically does what he says, as crazy as it seems. And that's really.
Yeah, people really should be worried about that because we're watching it be done to him. Interesting that he said that. Very interesting, Some are considering leaving the country. Well, if you've done nothing wrong, why would you be afraid? The only reason why you would be afraid is because you've done that to somebody else. You don't believe in the justice system, do you? That's just my observation from that I took from what he was saying there, because like I said, if you've truly done nothing wrong, why would you be afraid? Why would you want to leave the country? If we have a justice system that all of these Democrats were just saying is just, and the justice system proved that, what were they saying? That the justice system proved that no matter who you are, it still works or whatever. Okay, so no matter who you are, the justice system works. So they were just clapping like a bunch of seals when Donald Trump had that conviction, right? The justice system works. The justice system is alive. It still stands strong no matter who you are. Okay, well then, why are you afraid? It works, doesn't it? I think that's an admission that it doesn't. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm just some guy that makes videos on YouTube. I don't have any insider information. I wish I did, right? But that is just an admission that it doesn't work as well as you say it does. And you know that. Things aren't going the way that they should go. And you know that. You have done some things that have been wrong. And you know that. And you know that when Trump walks back into that office, he knows who you are. And you'll actually go to prison. Because you legitimately committed crimes. See, in my humble opinion, I think Trump should lock up every single one of these folks that have brought all of this against him. The Clintons, anybody and everybody that has committed these war crimes, right? Biden for his documents, Hillary for her documents, Mike Pence for his. Every single one of these folks that have legitimately committed crimes, okay? If Trump has to stand trial for documents and he was the only president, well, then they all should most definitely stand trial and should be convicted, even if he just the fact that he has to stand trial alone, and he's the only president out of the group, the only one that was legally allowed to have the documents, but he's the only one standing trial. So they should be in prison. I ain't saying they got to go to prison for life, but they should sit in a jail cell for a little bit at least. Okay. And once he does that, I think there should be some legislation passed, some laws put on the books that never allow any of this to ever happen again. Ever. this whole thing where Alvin Bragg took a situation that had expired. The statute of limitations had run out already. He took that, bended and twisted it, tried to attach it to something else to revive it. You know, some people call it the zombie case or the zombie trial, right? Because he tried to give life back to something that was expired already. Bended and twisted the law. The judge said, hey, well, you guys don't have to actually agree on one thing. You know, just some of you just think he did something, right? And it's fine. I'll count that as unanimous. What? Like, that should not be allowed to happen. If Trump actually committed a crime, let him go to jail. But let everybody else go to jail too. See, I'm about what's fair. But when I see stuff that's clearly not fair, I'm going to speak out against it. What's happening to this man is clearly not fair. In no way, shape, or form. And I've said this time and time again. If Hillary Clinton, if Mike Pence, if Joe Biden had all been locked up for documents, I wouldn't make too much of a fuss if Trump got locked up for documents. I know some of y'all might look at me funny, but I wouldn't. What's fair is fair. Now, the only reason why I say I wouldn't make much of a fuss is because of the fact that Donald Trump is the only president out of that group. So it's a little bit of a different circumstance. Presidents are the only ones that technically are allowed to have those documents. Now, we can get into the nuances of it all and whatnot, but that's why I said I wouldn't have much of an argument. I would still have a little bit of an argument because he was the only president out of the group. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to lose my SHIT over it because I just watched all them go to prison for it. What's fair is fair, right? What is fair is fair. If I watched Hillary Clinton, talk about, well, Donald Trump is an illegitimate president, and all these Democrats talk about how Donald Trump illegitimately won, and Russia, help or put him in place. I think Hakeem Jeffries was the one that said that, and then the media attacked them for saying that. And then after Trump said the same thing, he got cheated and Joe Biden lied and blah, blah, blah. And then the media attacked Trump. I wouldn't have anything to say because what's fair is fair. The media attacked them for saying it, and now they're attacking Trump for saying it. I'd have no issues. You wouldn't hear a single word out of me. A single word. But that's not what's happening. It's not what's happening. It's all Trump. Oh, Trump said the election was stolen. And nobody says anything about Hillary Clinton or Joe Biden or Kamala or Hakeem Jeffries or any of these Democrats saying it. And I've played the clip for y'all time and time again. So either be fair or I'm going to have something to say. Every single time. 7 days out of the week and twice on Sunday. But as always, y'all let me know in the comment section, how do y'all feel about revenge? I think he should. I think that's the only way that we truly get this country back on the right track. You lock up the people that have actually committed crimes. I'm not saying he, do what they did to him necessarily, but he go after them for the legitimate crimes that they have committed, right? And then he makes sure that none of this could ever happen to anyone again. I don't care if you're a Democrat or a Republican or an independent. Doesn't matter. Like I said, I'm about what's fair. Now, obviously, I am a Republican, and I probably will never vote for a Democrat ever again in my life. But what's fair is fair. And I don't want it to happen to anybody after all of this is over. But I think in order to make sure that it doesn't, one of the steps is going to have to be locking those folks up. That's just my personal opinion, but y'all let me know how y'all feel about it in the comment section below. Like, share, comment, hit that subscribe button before you go. Peace and love. I'm out.